ప్రేమ స్వరూపులారా, ప్రేమ స్వరూపులారా,
रे ग म प द दा नि रे नि दा पा रे ग म प द नि सा रे गा रे नि सा ग रे नि सा सा नि दा म द पा ग प म रे म ग स ग रे नि रे स नि द नि स रे ग रे नि रे स नि द नि स रे नि द सा हे माँ साई माँ हे माँ साई माँ
ज्योति स्वरूपिणी माँ, दीन जनावनि माँ,
ज्योति स्वरूपिणी माँ दीन जनावनि माँ
जय माँ,
जय माँ जय पाप विनाशिनी माँ जय पाप विनाशिनी माँ हे माँ साई माँ हे माँ साई माँ
शिरडिवासिनी माँ, हे पतिवासिनी माँ, हे शिरडिवासिनी माँ, हे पतिवासिनी माँ, ज्योति स्वरूपिणी
ज्योति स्वरूपिणी माँ दीन जनावनि माँ
जय माँ, जय माँ,
जय माँ जय माँ जय पाप विनाशिनी माँ जय पाप विनाशिनी माँ हे माँ साई माँ हे माँ साई माँ
हे शिरडिवासिनी माँ, हे परितिनिवासिनी माँ,
हे श्रीनिवासिनी माँ हे पतिनिवासिनी माँ
ज्योति स्वरूपिणी माँ, दीन जनावनि माँ।
Sri Sairam. We would like to offer our pranams at the lotus feet of our beloved Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. Sairam everyone, my name is Divya.
And my name is Nikhil, and we are very excited to introduce our offering on behalf of the BC Sai young adults.
To give you a bit of a backstory, we wanted to choose a topic that is relevant to our current events and close to our YA's hearts. While some YAs help with writing the script, others help with the production, others acted while memorizing countless lines, and then the ones who filmed and edited. A special thank you to our directors, Kesha Patel Vasundani and Shiva Narayan, for their time and commitment.
We are so blessed to have a group of committed and talented young adults who came together to make this offering possible while making sure everyone was safe and healthy. We are so grateful and proud of all the efforts and dedication of all the YAs who contributed to their various roles.
At this time, there has been a lot happening around the world, and one of the topics we wanted to address is one of discrimination.
We have all seen discrimination in many forms, but we decided to choose one that is very relatable to us as Canadians and connected to our history.
Swami has always started every discourse addressing us as embodiments of love. This love is within us and is the very epitome of our being. This love should shape every thought, word, and deed, shaping every thought, every interaction, every conversation, and every decision.
But anyways, without further ado, we are very excited to present to you all Lovely from
But you're so wrong. How can you be so oblivious to issues that are beyond yourself?
Well, see, that's the thing though. You seem to think that you're so much better than everyone else here because you can see the world through the eyes of everyone. But in reality, you're just the same as all of us.
Come here. Here, sir. We're here to talk openly.
I'm trying, but she's being so pretentious.
We open on a weekly South Asians Club meeting where Amira is meeting her friends Thea, Priyanka, and Miriam.
Oh my god, have you guys heard about the news where they found 215 unmarked graves in Kamloops yesterday?
Oh yes, I did hear about that. There's a clip that I watched I wanted to show you guys.
I've been following it since, but I worry that this is just the beginning.
Just the beginning? You mean there are more unmarked graves? I need to see this video. Priyanka, did you find it?
Yeah, here it is.
I want all of us to live with that burden because that's also the least that we can do. Our children were not taken away from us. Our children were not told to not be who they were.
Emotions continue to run high in British Columbia and right across the country, days after a grave holding the remains of 215 Indigenous children was discovered on the grounds of an old residential school in Kamloops. Premier John Horgan is one of many BC leaders expressing his sorrow and trying to make sense of what's happened.
We're a proud people. We've done extraordinary things together, but we've also done atrocious things together. And collectively, we have a responsibility to face that head on. And after the discovery of a mass grave in Kamloops, it's more real now than ever before.
There are no words that can do justice to those children and the countless others who died alone and scared, far from home, far from the families who loved them. There are no words that can make right a deliberate and intentional system that was designed to assimilate and extinguish Indigenous peoples.
At the legislature in Victoria, dozens upon dozens of shoes line the steps leading into the building to mark the victims lost.
I never thought I would see this happen in Canada. It's unbelievable.
Honestly, guys, it just makes me really sad. But we know that this is just another thing and a long line of things that have happened to Indigenous people. And I don't know what to do about the situation. Would you guys have any ideas?
I think this is a really heavy topic, and maybe we could think about it over the next week and come back with ideas. It's a great way to learn different ways to help our community and show our solidarity.
I think that's a good idea.
Amira left the meeting with some heavy questions on her mind.
Mom, Dad, I'm home.
Welcome back, Amira.
It's so good to see you, Amira.
Oh, so good to see you too, Dad.
Could you pass me that?
Oh, but Dad, that's just...
Amira. Thank you, dear. You see, that was a test to see if you can take care of us when you get old.
Amira!
Speaking of old,
Nani!
Nani, how was your flight?
It was wonderful, Amira. I think it was the best flight I ever had.
Wow, did you watch a good movie?
Nani, our Nani would never watch a movie when she has the opportunity to strike up a conversation on a plane where no one can run away from her.
Yes, thank you, Dad.
It was a joke, Nani. I'm only teasing.
Don't worry, Raj. I understand funny things too. I saw a passenger on the flight going through the movies, and he skipped past your movie, the one directed by our useless Rajesh Chand. And he went right to the Emoji movie. You know what, Raj? I had quite the laugh.
I think you mean the Emoji Movie, right, Nani?
Yes, dear. That's the one. Raj! Relax. It was a joke. Your movies are fine.
Huh? Oh yes, thank you. Very funny joke, Ma.
Raj, the longer you tease my mom, the longer you will be bullied. Go make some chai.
Thank you, Raj. Anyways, where was I? Right, my flight. I had the best flying partners. One was sleeping the entire flight. I tried to strike up a conversation with him, but he didn't respond. He wasn't even snoring. But my other flying partner, Amara, she made my day.
Hey, my program is on. Shh, Mom, Myra, chup.
Anyways, Amira, besides the sleeping man, I sat next to a lady who works in the beautiful industry.
What do you mean by beautiful industry, Nani?
I think she's a makeup artist.
Oh, I think that's actually the beauty salon industry.
Beauty, beautiful, all the same thing. She made me feel so beautiful. She said I had the best kept hair she's ever seen.
Ah, did you tell her about the coconut oil?
Of course I did. She also mentioned a cream that makes your face lighter and glowing, but I can't remember it.
She said that, Nani? But you have such beautiful skin already. You don't need any creams.
Thank you, dear. But, you know, the beautiful expert recommended it, so I should use it.
Hey, Karan is alive. Look, Karan is alive. But I thought Sindhura killed him. No. We know Sindhura killed him.
Oh no, Mom.
I remember last week's thrilling episode. She tossed Karan off the cliff and he died.
Oh, here we go again.
Wait, no, he reincarnated? He reincarnated. He doesn't even remember Sanvi. He has no memories at all. Raj!
Ah!
Come.
What is it? What happened?
Karan is alive. He reincarnated.
Wow, what a twist.
Guys, everyone saw that coming.
Hey yo, these two will never stop. Anyways, Amira, tell me, how was school? What did you do today? Enough of my stories.
Well, school was uneventful for the most part, but our after-school South Asian Club meeting was really informative today. We talked about racism, the history of systemic racism, and we particularly talked about the unmarked graves that were found in Kamloops of the indigenous children that attended residential schools.
Yeah, we actually talked a lot about it at work.
Everyone needs to learn the history and acknowledge the trauma around these events. There's so much that our society still needs to do. Dad, look at this. There's so many stories of racism and discrimination.
So residential schools were effectively used by the government to remove indigenous culture from the country. These schools brought students forcefully from their communities, stripped them of any Indigenous identity that they may have, their heritage, their language, and for many of them, their lives. Since the end of May, using ground-penetrating radar, 3 communities within Canada have announced the finding of more than 1,000 unmarked graves, many of which likely hold Indigenous children's remains on the sites of former residential schools. We do know from testimony and from records that students died of negligence, they died of starvation, they died of disease, and increasingly there's a belief that their deaths were deliberate in some cases.
These are unmarked graves. Removing headstones is a crime in this country, and we are treating this like a crime scene.
Residential schools were effectively a vehicle of forced assimilation for Indigenous communities across the country. Beginning in the 1800s, both the Catholic Church and kind of what is now the federal government brought students forcefully from their communities, stripped them of their heritage, their hair was cut, they were forced to wear European clothing, they were given European names, they were not allowed to speak in their native language. They were forced to become Christian. Many were beaten. These schools were effectively used by the government to remove Indigenous culture, colonizing much of the country. And the last one closed in 1996. This is not ancient history. This is a very fresh past for them.
Did you guys have any ideas?
Amira, beta, you do this. Be good. Don't be like your dad, useless. All he does is buck. He doesn't get anything done. What you can do is find out what needs to be done and I'll support you. What do you need? Do you need some money?
Oh, no, Nani. Thank you. I'm just stumped on what to do. I'll probably just bring up this topic during our next young adults meeting.
Arey, wow, fantastic idea.
Okay. The chow might get cold. Nani, I assume you want 4 sugars?
Raj, don't be ridiculous. I need 5 to maintain my youth. Thank you.
On the same day in a different home, Kabir, another young adult from the Sai Center, returns to his family.
Ma, I'm home.
Welcome back, beta.
I'm so happy to see you, my boy.
Happy to see you too.
Hey, how do I switch back to YouTube?
Here. See this big red button right here? All you do, you click it. There you go. YouTube pops up.
Ah, there we are. Thank you, my boy. What would I do without you?
Dad, if you knew how to change the channel, why'd you need me?
Well, to get me the remote. You see, dear, this is how we can trick our son into doing whatever we want.
Very good, Vijay. Tricking a poor son to do your bidding. You could have nicely asked him for the controller room.
Kabir!
Dada!
Nice to see you, my dear.
You too, Dada. Dada, how was your flight?
Oh, it was the worst flight I've ever been on. It was crazy.
Really? Were the movies that bad?
Well, there was that too. There was this movie by some Rajesh something.
Oh, Rajesh Chan, yeah, useless fellow.
Oh yeah, it was terrible, and I turned it off in just 5 minutes. It was a complete waste of time.
Kabir, can you go make us some chai?
Okay.
Thank you, my boy.
No problem. Go on, Dada.
Yeah. After that movie, I tried to go to sleep actually.
That should not be any problem for you, Dada. You can sleep standing up.
Yeah. Wouldn't you think that, my boy? But I had one of the worst flying partners. She was talking all the time. And even when I closed my eyes and tried to sleep, she still tried talking to me. It was crazy.
Papa, even you couldn't sleep through it?
No, of course I couldn't. She was too loud. You guys know this. I don't like talking to anybody while I'm flying unless it's absolutely necessary.
Yeah, we know.
And what's worse is, this other flying partner joined in on the conversation. They started talking about some beauty and makeup or something.
Hey, Are, it's on. Shh, Papa, Radha, my program is on.
I wasn't even saying anything, Baba.
I have a prediction about what's going to happen. No one say anything. I want to see if I'm right, and I'm usually right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, okay, Dad.
My poor sleep routine, Kabir.
Ayyo.
All I could hear was hair, beauty, product, fair and something. I don't remember actually.
Wait, Fair and Lovely, Dada? I use it. It's great.
Well, the only thing I remember agreeing on was when they mentioned coconut oil. That is
Right.
excellent for the hair, body, skin, everything.
So, Papa, you actually talked to them?
No, of course not, my dear. I simply agreed silently while pretending to be asleep. Ah, thank you, my boy.
No problem.
Thank you. Hey, look! Karan is alive! Wait, but Sundara killed him! I remember last month's thrilling episode. She tossed him off the cliff, and he died. Wait! He reincarnated! He has no memories! He doesn't remember Sandvi! Radha, Kabir, are you seeing this?
Wow, what a twist, Dad.
Exactly, Kabir! Who could have seen?
So, Vijay, your prediction was correct then.
Huh?
Your prediction, Baba. You said Karan would reincarnate after his death, right?
Of course, what a twist and what a prediction by me. You see, Papa, your son is always right.
Ah, well done. That's my son.
Really, Vijay? You look surprised.
So, Kabir, how was school?
Well, school was uneventful for the most part. One of our teachers decided to bring up the most current events about racism and discrimination.
Well, those things generally don't come up in my workplace.
Oh, okay. Well, I was wondering what you guys thought about something. Here, let me show you. Mom, you know, like when you watch the news a lot of times, there's a lot of racism and discrimination happening. And yeah, but this one that I'm about to show you really affected me quite a bit. Here, come.
Could have been my brothers, it could have been me. Couldn't have ran away. I could have drowned in a river. I was only 8 years old.
As part of the federal government's financial settlement with survivors of residential schools, there was the creation of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, which was thousands of hours of testimony from survivors of what happened in these schools. Survivors spoke, quite painfully of sexual abuse, of emotional abuse, of physical abuse in these schools. But it wasn't until the ground penetrating radar picked up these graves that Canadians were forced to really grapple with and acknowledge that these sites are real. There's 34 First Nations across the country that don't have access to clean drinking water. Indigenous people are overrepresented in incarceration across the country. Indigenous women are far more likely to be killed than any other group in the country. And right now, one of the biggest calls is to announce the formation of a national investigation, one that is free of government intervention, as a show of good faith that the government is concerned about achieving the truth of the truth and reconciliation aspect. Reconciliation is a whole other question, but there is a lot of undiscovered truths right now, and it's about time those came to light. The federal government funded more than 130 schools across the country. So what we're seeing is really just the tip of the iceberg in terms of understanding the scope and the depth of the tragedy.
These kinds of things are getting too much focus on the news. It happens to everyone. Different struggles for different people. When I was growing up, we faced struggles daily. And yet here I am, a successful man who always has a plan. Tell me, does this affect you and your future directly?
No, not really, Dada, but shouldn't we be worried that something like residential schools happened in our country?
What? What residential schools? At least your school is 5 minutes away from your residence.
Residential schools? I've never heard of them.
Ma, Dada, listen. For decades, the Canadian government removed generations of Indigenous children from their homes and their families, and they put them in these residential schools. They were forced to give up their cultures and their traditions, and they were forced to learn new ones of the Europeans. A lot of these kids, they were treated horribly, and a lot of them never ever met their families again.
Kabir, that's enough. It's part of the past. Let's stay out of this negativity. Focus on your studies and finding a job. We didn't come here and work this hard for you to be caught up on things that don't affect us.
Look, it's true that there's a lot going on in the world. Everyone has had struggles, but not everything is publicized. I had a lot of struggles growing up as well. Just think about it. We were very poor, and I had to work so hard in order to feed my family. It was not easy at all. There should be discussion about the future of growing up successfully.
Okay. I have a study circle that I have to go to later. There's going to be an open discussion there. Should I bring up something about how people struggle growing up and how they struggle finding a job?
Yes, that is wonderful. You can even use examples from your dada if you like.
Okay. The chai might get cold. Papa, want sugar?
No, thank you, my darling. That's too much. 0 sugar to keep me alive as long as possible.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Amira and Kabir make their way to the Sai Center for a study circle. We have Carter leading the group, and they are joined by Pooja, Sasha, and Ranil.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Alright, sign everyone, and welcome once again to our study circle on constant integrated awareness. Now to start off, would anyone be able to tell me what constant integrated awareness is simply by those 3 words alone? Sasha, go ahead.
So constant integrated awareness can also be called prajnana, which is the unchanging and eternal principle within us at all times and under all circumstances. It can also be called supreme knowledge, which is constant integrated awareness.
That's our SSC guru, isn't it?
That is actually excellent. Thank you so much, Sasha. Anyone else have anything to say about defining constant integrated awareness? Oh, yes, Amira, please, go ahead.
Just to bounce off Sasha's point and your question earlier, I think another way we can define constant integrated awareness is to not only be paying attention to the divinity within yourself and seeing the God within, I think it also pays off to be aware of the divinity within others, to be aware of the things that are going on around you.
That is an excellent point, Amara. Well done. That actually brings me to the quote I have from Swami, as you guys can see over here. Look, you have to play your role well in this drama of life. Keep the world in your mind. If you have firm faith in God, you will perceive divinity everywhere. Swami. And I think this relates really well to what he just said. So well done. Well done, Amara.
Yeah, I really like that point of perceiving divinity everywhere.
I absolutely love that drama comparison.
Right? It's really interesting to think about life as a drama and we're the actors. I actually introduced this part of the quote to my group 3s earlier, and they loved it so much they want to make our next SSC presentation on Ishrama Day about life as a drama. It's fun to think about it that way too.
I'll be looking forward to that. The SSC children always make such beautiful presentations. They inspire a young, aspiring actress such as myself. They have so much talent.
I completely agree, and I'll be looking forward to that as well. The SSC kids are amazing, aren't they? But I think this is a good segue before we move on to our other topics. So let's assign our life applications for this week and see how we did when we come back to this topic next week as well. All right?
Well, since we're around people all the time at work and at school, I think that's a great place to start practicing. people are negative all the time, their values don't line up with ours. We can choose to see the divinity within them. No, this is how we can all grow.
All right. So how about everyone go through their week, see if there's any examples of seeing divinity within others. Is that okay? It's a little more simple since we just started off the topic. Next week we'll be going more in depth. Since we'll be going through the topic again next week, more in depth, and we'll have a more robust life application. Does that sound good to everyone?
Yeah.
All right, cool, great. Well, we don't have much time left. Yeah, we don't have much time left. So maybe let's get to one or two topics that we can discuss before we call it for today. All right, so does anyone have any suggestions? Amara, go ahead.
Yeah, I do have a topic in mind. It's about current events. Is that okay?
Sure, go for it.
So I had a meeting with my South Asian club, and we were talking about systemic racism and what's going on in Canada right now. I want to see if there's anything we can discuss about taking actions for this, or maybe just have a general conversation.
I'd rather talk about something else, Amara. I kind of want to talk about how we can prepare ourselves for job interviews instead.
Well, we can all talk about Amara's topic first, and then we can move on to yours next, Kabir. If we can't get to it today, it'll be our first topic for the next study circle.
I'd rather just talk about something that affects us directly, Carter. Why don't we talk about something that matters to all of us?
This does affect us. It's happening all around us. Even if you feel that it doesn't affect us directly, shouldn't we try to figure out how to be of service to communities around us?
I don't have anything that I would add to this. We're all going to be applying for jobs sometime soon, so I'm pretty sure my topic's a lot more pressing.
I agree with Kabir. I don't get what the big deal is.
All right, side on, guys, side on. Let's take it down a notch. Let's talk about this in a more calm and respectful manner of each other.
No, what Kabir doesn't get is how much this affects us. If you can see divinity within others, doesn't that make us one? People are facing so many difficulties because of the color of their skin, their race, or culture. It affects us all. First, I found out that in this country, Indigenous children die because of their identity, and then later right in my own home. I found out that my nani feels like her skin needs to be lighter to feel prettier in our society. Two different situations, two different scales, but discrimination at its finest, it's ridiculous.
Wait, hold on. Aren't we supposed to be working on ourselves, attain self-actualization and self-realization? If we focus on things that will affect us in the future, like our job interviews, it'll be so much better for us.
But you're so wrong. How can you be so oblivious to issues that are beyond yourself?
Well, see, that's the thing though. You seem to think that you're so much better than everyone else here because you can see the world through the eyes of everyone. But in reality, you're just the same as all of us.
Kabir, be respectful. We're here to talk openly.
I'm trying, but she's being so pretentious.
Hey, she has a point, you know.
Yeah, people are being hurt, people are in pain, and people have been murdered out there. How do you not see that?
Side on, everyone, please. All right. How about the two of you go outside, go take a breather, and then
whatever, Carter.
And then we can come back to this conversation.
Kabir, wait.
Amara, what do you want?
Hold on, I just want to show you something.
What?
4 is my lucky number. I graduated after 4 years. Just before my 4th interview, I realized that the obstacle to obtain my dream job was my skin.
Discover Fair & Lovely multivitamin with 4 essential vitamins, B3, E, A, and C, for total fairness.
Lemma reporting live from Egypt.
Fair & Lovely multivitamin for total fairness.
See what I mean? These are the kind of messages that are all around us.
You know what? I'm done with this. I'm out of here.
I've been using Fair & Lovely to preserve the color of my skin. I don't see what's wrong with it if it's going to help me get my dream job. Right? Wait, is there something wrong with it? Amira thinks there's something wrong with this ad. I don't see it. Oh man, I just really need to clear my head.
See, it's always been those small reminders, little reminders that I needed to be brighter and lighter and whiter to be accepted and successful. Just imagine how televised ads like that reflect cultural beliefs that are passed on through generations. But who can I talk to? Who will be able to help me see what's beneath my skin behind this mask? Okay, Swami, I need to talk this out with you. When I wanted to get a group to have a conversation, I was shut down by Kabir, and then again when I showed him the ad. I'm so angry, Swami. I don't understand how someone can be so short-sighted to the problems that so many people face. It shouldn't matter if it affects you directly or not. Swami, I don't know what to do to help and convince others to help. When showing Kabir the Fair and Lovely commercial, it got me thinking. The woman in the commercial reminds me of my nanny. She is convinced her skin wasn't beautiful because some makeup artist told her to use Fair and Lovely. It got me thinking about all the different ways people face pressures and discrimination in their everyday lives. Oh, wait a minute. I think I've thought of one way that I can help people around me. Swami, you got my back, right?
Hey, Amira! Hold up. Look, thank you. I really just wanted to say sorry earlier. I shouldn't have been shouting. I'm really, really sorry for cutting you down. I shouldn't have done that.
No, it's okay. I kept shouting at you. I didn't even know what to say or consider what you were proposing. I just wanted you to understand. I know that our future is important and that you're concerned about job interviews.
Yeah, quite a bit, actually. It's just a lot, most of what we talk about at home, you know, like my parents and I, it's always about school, jobs, and sometimes they try to talk about Indian cereals, you know? I'm sure you do.
No, I totally understand. My parents are thinking those ways too.
Yeah. Hey, I meant to ask, why did you show me that ad earlier?
Well, I was thinking about the Fair and Lovely commercial, and it made me realize how closely affected I am by it. Just the other day, my nanny told me that she wanted to try it because she was told that she would be more beautiful. I also have friends who feel like they need to use that to make them more accepted by other people. It puts so much pressure on people thinking about the color of your skin. And it got me thinking about the residential school stuff we were talking about.
Really? How?
Hey guys, are you guys still fighting? Am I interrupting?
Are you okay?
No, guys, trust me. We're fine, we're fine.
How about we finish this inside because it's getting a little cold?
Let's go, yeah.
So what were you guys talking about outside?
Well, Amara was showing me this video and she was trying to explain that Fair and Lovely is somehow related to Indigenous kids, discrimination, culture, and all that. I'm not sure I'm following.
Those connect?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, they do. I was actually teaching my group 3s about this.
Yeah, obviously I do not think that these situations are completely the same, but they're both based on ideas that the way people look and behave needs to change, which is so wrong. There's so many different issues that people go through because they don't accept themselves and others due to different skin colors and culture.
I'm still confused. Can you explain a bit more?
Yeah, guys, I'm lost too.
Yeah, on a small scale, it could be thinking that we need lighter skin to be employable. Kabir, did you ever consider that you shouldn't need to change the color of your skin to get a job?
No.
On a larger scale, it can end up looking like an entire race of people being treated in such dehumanizing ways. Even today, members of the Indigenous community are still being treated with disrespect and are being overlooked due to their identity.
Yeah, many Indigenous communities don't even have clean drinking water.
Wow, what? We live in Canada though. How come we have drinking water but they don't?
It's not only clean drinking water. Indigenous peoples were forced to separate and change based on differences in their skin color and culture.
See, Kabir, our skin color shouldn't have anything to do with us not getting a job or access to drinking water or feeling beautiful.
Wow, okay, I get it. You're saying that we should do something as a group Do you have any ideas?
Yeah, I think I do now.
Oh, there you guys are. Thank God. Thank God.
Are you guys alright?
Yeah, I guess so.
Alright, good. Listen, I know you guys have had a difference in opinion, and that's totally fine. Alright, but next week, we can start off with Amara's topic first. Alright? And then we move on to yours, Kabir. Alright? That way we can see each other's opinions and then we can discuss. Alright? That's cool.
No, it's okay, Carter. We already talked it out. We're okay.
You're okay?
Yeah, we're completely fine.
Ah, fantastic. That's amazing. Great. So now that we've all had a conversation, we all now understand each other, alright? And this is important. It's important to have these kind of conversations to understand each other, right? Is that okay with everyone?
Yeah, I actually wanted to add on to Kabir's life application. It was already a really good idea. I think in addition to seeing divinity in others, we should take time to appreciate someone's differences. So that same underlying Atmic principle, that same divinity resides within all. But among our differences, everyone is lovely from within.
I think that's a great idea. I think one of the ways that we can start practicing this is if we have conversations about this with our families. All of us can be exposed to ideas that lead us to think and treat people a little bit less than divine. You know? I know in my own families, these conversations are so needed. It starts from home. But I think I'm gonna need some help.
I actually did a paper on Indigenous communities at school, and I can share it with you lot.
That'd be great because I think this is a difficult conversation to have with our families if we aren't prepared, but definitely worth it.
And Carter, maybe next week we could do a seva where we can help victims of discrimination and violence. What do you think about that?
I think that's a good idea. Well said.
Alright then, helping on a small scale starting at home and then on a larger scale in our community. Brilliant!
You guys are onto something. That's amazing. Pooja, if you could share your paper with us so when we get back home, it'll guide our conversations. That's okay? Awesome. And as for the rest of us, when we get back home, we can do our own research on different organizations so we can do our seva. Is that okay? Great. Guys, I think this is a good place to leave off. So let's come back next week and we'll discuss both of these things. Okay? Thank you guys for such an amazing discussion. Thank you, Swami, for guiding us through our conversations. We've had some rough moments, but these things happen. And we're okay now, right? We're all okay. So let's end off properly with 1 Om and 3 Shantis.
Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
1 week later, Kabir and Dada have an insightful conversation.
Hey, Kabir. I actually forgot to ask you last week. How did your discussion with the youth go? Did you bring up your Dada struggles?
Dada, there's something I need to speak to you about.
Okay. What is that?
I know that you mentioned that people have struggled in their lives, but I don't think it's fair for us to dismiss their struggles.
Okay. I mean,
remember the videos of all those indigenous kids that died in all those unmarked graves?
Yeah, I do. Okay.
Imagine if I were one of them and I got taken away from this family and you just never ever saw me ever again.
Come on. I did not dismiss other people's struggles. Don't talk to me like that. And that just wasn't you. It wasn't us. I worked so hard to get us here to this place, man. And just don't bother me with this, please.
Dada, I'm not saying that you didn't work hard. Okay, I'm not trying to undermine your hard work, but imagine if your hard work was being undermined because of your skin color. I don't think it's fair for us to undermine other people's journeys.
Okay.
I think we could be a lot stronger together if we respect each other, don't you think? We can't change the past, but we can change the future. I know we moved to this country and we suffered so have others. And since we know about suffering to some degree, shouldn't that mean that we need to be a little bit more understanding and compassionate towards each other? Shouldn't that mean that we need to spend and take some time out of our lives to try to serve? Be a bit more inclusive and love each other? Because that's the very least that we can do. No?
Well, maybe.
Swami says, develop a sense of the brotherhood of man. Look upon each person as your own brother. There's only one caste, the caste of humanity. All of us belong to the human race, so everyone is equal. Therefore, love each one equally. Satya Sai Baba. Happy 96th birthday, Swami. Love from the BC Sai Young Adults.
Why get agitated? Let me take care of all your business. I shall be the one who will think about them. I am waiting for nothing else than your surrender to me. And then you do not have to worry anymore about anything. Say farewell to all fears and discouragement. You demonstrate that you do not trust me. On the contrary, you must rely blindly on me. To surrender means to turn your thoughts away from troubles, to turn them away from difficulties that you encounter and from all your problems. Leave everything in my hands, saying, Lord, thy will be done. Thou think of it. That is to say, Lord, I thank you for you have taken everything into your hands and you will resolve this for my highest good. Remember that thinking of the consequences of a thing is contrary to surrender. When you worry that a situation has not had the desired outcome, you demonstrate that you do not believe in my love for you. You prove that you do not consider your life to be under my control and that nothing escapes me. Never think, how is this going? What is going to happen? If you give in to this temptation, you demonstrate that you do not trust me. Do you want me to deal with it? Yes or no? Then you must stop being anxious about it. I shall guide you only if you completely surrender to me. And when I must lead you on a different path than the one that you expect, I carry you in my arms. What seriously upsets you is your reasoning, your worry, your obsession and your will to provide for yourself at any price. I can do so many things when the being in his material necessities as in his spiritual ones turns to me saying, you think of it, and then closes his eyes and rests quietly. You will receive a lot, but only when your prayer relies fully upon me. You pray to me when in pain so that I intervene, but in the way you desire it. You do not rely on me, but you want me to adjust to your requests. Don't behave like sick ones who ask for a treatment from the doctor, all the time suggesting it to him. Do not do that, but rather, even in sad circumstances, say, Lord, I praise and thank you for this problem, for this necessity. I pray you to arrange things as you please for this terrestrial, temporal life. You know very well what is best for me. Sometimes you feel the disasters increase instead of diminish. Do not get agitated. Close your eyes and tell me with faith, Thy will be done. You think of it. And when you speak thus, I accomplish a miracle when necessary. I think of it only when you trust me totally. I always think of you, but I can help you completely only when you rely fully on me.
ओम जय जगदीश हरे स्वामी सत्य साई हरे भक्त जना संरक्षक भक्त जना संरक्षक पति महेश्वरा ओम जय जगदीश हरे शशिवदना श्रीकरा सर्व प्राणपते स्वामी सर्व प्राणपते आश्रित कल्पलतिका आश्रित कल्पलतिका आपद्बान्धवा ओम जय जगदीश हरे मातपिता गुरुदैवमु मरियन्तयु नीवे स्वामी मरियन्तयु नीवे नाद ब्रह्म जगन्नाथा नाद ब्रह्म जगन्नाथा नागेन्द्रशयना ओम जय जगदीश हरे ओंकार रूप ओजस्वी ओ साई महादेवा सत्य साई महादेवा मंगलहारति अंदुको मंगलहारति अंदुको मंदर गिरिधारी ओम जय जगदीश हरे नारायण नारायण ओम सत्यनारायण नारायण नारायण ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्यनारायण नारायण ओम सत्यनारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा नारायण नारायण ओम सत्यनारायण नारायण नारायण ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्यनारायण नारायण ओम सत्यनारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा नारायण नारायण ओम सत्यनारायण नारायण नारायण ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्यनारायण नारायण ओम सत्यनारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा शांति शांति शांति